Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Scapenomics, and today we're going to be walking through a high margin flipping session live. I'm going to teach you guys how I flip high margin items and how I actually get the maximum GP per hour while flipping these items. High margin flipping is a risky but very lucrative method of flipping, and learning how to master it will lead you on the path to billions. Be sure to leave a like, and let's hop over to the Grand Exchange and hunt some items. We have 1.66 bill in the cash stack. Now, flipping high margin items are typically lower volume items, so we're going to start this video off trying to hunt margins on the Inquisitor armor pieces, while also trying to flip some medium volume gear at the same time, like the Dragon Claws or Primordial Boots, so we can make some profits on the side while we do wait. We've got all of our high margin items listed, as well as some other items to make us some cash in the meantime. But if you guys want to know how I came up with the price listings for the Inquisitor gear and the Scythe, be sure to check out my other video on high margin flipping. We go through the entire process and the graph analysis in that video, so definitely go check it out. We'll let some of this stuff sit for about 15 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and see if we need to move anything around. The first tip I wanted to throw in here today is patience. This is not your average flipping session. You have a lot of gold on the line for some of these items, and taking your time to find the correct margin is essential in coming out profitable and coming out on top. Also, just note that once you do find the margin on this item, you're going to be able to flip it over and over again and make a lot of money. So play it very patiently as you wait to find these items. We got our first item flipped today, the Scythe of Eter. We actually ended up flipping for a 300k margin, which is obviously very bad, but we didn't lose money trying to find the margin, which is great. When I'm flipping the Scythe, I'm looking for at least 700 to a mil per flip. So what I'm going to do is actually list this second Scythe, which I've already done, for lower in price, and try to stretch that margin out a little bit so we can make some more money on it. If a high margin item has a lower margin than you anticipated, you could do one of two things in that situation. One, you could just flip the item later in your session and try to get a better margin then, or two, you could just flip the item for the current margin at hand. If the margin is smaller than usual, then the item will probably flip pretty quickly. You'll be able to make a quick and safe profit on it. Each of those methods are no better than the other one, so it's really up to personal preference. I'm happy we ran into this situation for the video. When we went to relist the Inquisitor Great Helm here, we actually ended up instantly buying one on accident, as the GE tracker price listings are not always completely accurate. So what we're going to do in this situation is sell the Inquisitor Great Helm for about 50k less, which means we will take a 50k loss on it, but we're going to be paying that 50k to know where the item is trading around. So going forward, after we sell this, I do expect to be making about 400 to 500k for every Inquisitor Great Helm flip, which really isn't that great for the Great Helm, but we're going to take those profits. We just got a second Scythe off, but instead of trying to buy one for cheaper, what we actually ended up doing was buying one at basically the same price, but trying to sell it for higher. It looks like the Scythe is trending in an upward direction, and the last one we just flipped netted us 695k, and I'm very, very happy with that margin. We're going to try to hit the same margin again, see if it works. A little bit of a session update. We're kind of struggling to get a lot of this Inquisitor moving, which kind of stinks because I know how profitable that stuff is, but we're going to try and get it anyway. We're still flipping the Scythe back and forth as well. Pretty good margin on that still. Not amazing, but good enough to flip. Okay, so the good news is we were able to get all the margins on the Inquisitor plate skirts and the halberds, and basically all of the Inquisitor items. The bad news though is the margins on them are not too great right now. We're going to try to take advantage as best we can and stretch the margins out a little bit by trying to predict where the price may be moving. Currently looks like Inquisitor armor is also on an upward trend as well, so we're going to try to manage that situation, stretch the margins out a little bit. We made 595k flipping the Inquisitor plate skirt, and by the way, that was just finding out the margin, so we walked away with a pretty penny on that one. And the halberd we only made like 250k, but that being said, now we know where the margins are. Let's make some bank. Looks like we did find the margin on the Inquisitor halberd. We ended up buying one for 270,050,000. We're going to try to sell it back for 270,845,000, which is about 5k under where we sold our previous one. So we should be able to flip that a few times without too much trouble. A great way to stay on top of these high margin items is to have a buy offer and a sell offer going at the same time. So if we did have enough gold, we would put an offer in for the Inquisitor Halberd at 270 million and 50,000 and wait for that one to buy as well, while we are trying to sell the one we currently have for a profit. We bought another Halberd for a cheaper price, actually 500k under our previous purchase offer, which tells me we might now be trending in a downward direction on the Halberd. So what I did was I listed the margin back for lower. We're still making a profit on the first one at this price level, and we're still making about $1 million on that next one that we sell here as well. So we just kind of shifted our offer downwards as we did get another Halberd to fill. I do want to list another one for a lot lower just in case we maybe are catching a little bit of a dump, and we'll see if that actually works out for us. Still a little bit worried about it at this point, but I think it's going to turn out fine. We just bought a volatile orb as well, and as you can see, I went back in on the listing at a 500k lower price point, and maybe we can pick up another one. I don't know if they actually will sell for 184 mil or a little bit over it, but we're going to try to get one off for that price. There is a lot of guessing work with these high margin items. It's a lot of guessing where the item might be trading around or where the price might move in the short term future. So just keep that in mind and stay very dynamic with the listings that you're putting in. Looks like we actually did end up selling a volatile orb for about I would say like 900k margin, it looks like. So really good margin on those. We just cycled back in to get another one, and we actually tried to get the eldritch orb as well, but we bought it instantly by accident. So we're trying to sell off the one that we do have, and since we have another slot open and the money to do it, I think we're going to go ahead and try to flip another one of these in the open slot. We'll see if we can get one. We've hit some really good luck with the flips here in the past 30 minutes or so. We were able to buy and sell an Inquisitor plate skirt for about 1.2 mil in profit on that. We also got the Inquisitor Halberd off for not quite the same margin, but about 1.3 mil in profit on the Halberd, which is really, really awesome. And we got the two off that we were holding on to before, which is really, really great. So I'm going to try to hit it for that same exact margin again, and I just went back in with the same listing on it. The Inquisitor prices are bouncing all over the place right now. We were able to flip another Halberd, which is really great, but this one that we did sell here sold very quickly, so I think the margin might be shifting upwards a little bit, which is why I cycled back in with an offer within the 269 mil range. If things go badly, then we'll just sell it back for the original margin here, but I think we might be able to sell it for a little bit more in profit, so looking forward to how this is going to play out. Another tip I recommend while waiting for these high margin items is to, one, maybe go do something else on your computer while you wait, but also to list these medium volume gear related items. Right now we have the Kodai wands buying and selling, and that's just going to bring in a little bit additional profit per hour while we're waiting. Just finished up on the Kodai wands, and we passed the 10 mil mark. Very nice. We ended up buying and selling two of the Inquisitor plate skirts. We got them off for 300k less than I anticipated, so we had to knock them down in margin a little bit, but we're trying to cycle back in again to see if we can pick up some more. These will be the last two Inquisitor plate skirts as we're coming up on the 4-hour limit. We're going to try to get back on the Inquisitor Great Helm here, hoping for a better margin than earlier. Completely done flipping the Inquisitor plate skirts. We're completely out of that item. We've hit the limit. For the tail end of the session, we're going to keep everything we have listed on screen, but we're going to try to flip the T-bow a few times just for the content. We just flipped our first twisted bow. We only made about 445k on it, so I'm going to try to sell the next one that we get for a little bit higher of a price and hope we can actually get a bigger margin. I tried to stretch the margin out on that last twisted bow, but I didn't have any luck doing it, so we had to sell it for the same price where we sold it before, but that's okay. We still made about 500k on that flip, but I think we're going to call the session there today. We ended the session with 16.3 mil in profit. In the second half of my session, I wasn't staying on top of items as much as I was playing another game, so RuneScape kind of took the background. I'll put a picture on screen so you guys can see the profit and the items that we flipped and the profit we made on every single item. I don't think that the margins were amazing on these low volume items today, but we still ended up making a lot of money, which I'm happy about. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to leave any questions you may have in the comment section below. I'll be sure to answer those for you. And on top of that as well, I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.